Okay, 2021 classification test question number 1. An outside the 9-yard marks conference must occur between the 25-yard lines in an 11-man game. For you newer guys, we have two types of timeout conferences. One is an inside the 9-yard marks conference, and the other one is an outside the 9-yard. The 9-yard marks at the top of the numbers. Okay. So the rule says if you're outside the 9-yard mark, you can have one or more team members and one or more coaches directly in front of the team box. And the team box stretches from the 25 to the 25. So this is a little bit of a trick question, but the answer is true. All right, question number 2. A, 3rd and 9 at the A8. At the A6, quarterback A3 pitches the ball backwards to A18 at the A2. At the A4, B89, that's a defensive player, 89, bats the pass into the end zone, where A18 recovers it. Okay, so we've got a lot of things going on here. We've got a backward pass. We've got a bat. That always catches our attention. And the ball ends up in the end zone. So what do we have? So the rules references are 851, 852B, and 972. Let's take a look at 851. Responsibility for forcing the ball from the field of play across a goal line is attributed to the player who carries, snaps, passes, fumbles, or kicks the ball, unless a new force is applied to a grounded backward pass, kick, or fumble. So you notice the word grounded. This ball was in the air. So that bat does not apply. I mean, it doesn't change the force that put the ball into the end zone. The force was the backward pass, even though it was batted. .852 is a very important rule. You got to know it. It is a safety win, and he refers to 852B. A player who is either in the field of play or in his end zone forces a loose ball from the field of play to or across his goal line by his kick, pass, fumble, snap, or by a new force to a grounded loose ball with his muff or bat or illegal kick, provided the ball becomes dead there in the team's possession. Okay, so it can also be declared dead because no player is in possession, or because it went out of bounds. That's either out of the bounds to the sideline or the end line. This does not apply to a legal forward pass which becomes incomplete. I think that's not no shit. Anyway, so we've got a safety situation because A13 or A18 recovered the ball that was ended up in the end zone due to the quarterback's backward pass. And the last rules reference is 972. 972 regards illegal kicking and batting. We've already talked about this. 972 just simply says no player shall bat a loose ball other than a pass or fumble in flight. That was in the previous rule. Or a low scrimmage kick in flight, which he's attempting to block in or behind the expanded neutral zone. So there's an exception to the batting rule, and this is it. So this is a safety. Question number 3. A, 2nd and 13 at the A20. Running down the sideline during a pass play, the line judge unintentionally collides with a Team A assistant coach in the restricted area. What is the penalty? Team A is penalized 15 yards from the subsequent spot for illegal personal contact, For a second such offense by any non-player, the penalty is 15 yards from the succeeding spot. For a second such offense by any non-player, the head coach is ejected. And D is all of the above, and E is A and B only. So, let's take a look at the rule. 948, unintentional contact between a non-player. A non-player is a coach, athletic trainer, other attendant, a substitute, or replaced player who does not participate by touching the ball, hindering an opponent, or influencing the play. So basically, it's anybody that's not one of the 22 players on the field. Okay? So if we go down to the penalty for 948, I'm actually going to go to the penalty table out of the book. Unintentional contact with a game official in the restricted area, 15 yards. It's a non-player foul for the first offense, 15 yards from the succeeding spot. He said subsequent spot. That's incorrect terminology, but it's basically the same. For the second offense, 15 yards from the succeeding spot and disqualification of the head coach. So this is a big one, guys. We don't want to kick the head coach out, enforce the restricted area forcefully, and if you do get one of these, tell the coach to make sure he doesn't get a second one, because he's going to be ejected. So the answer to question number 3 is D, all of the above. All right, question number 4. K 4th and 3 at the K30. K's legal scrimmage kick is touched by K62 at the K35 and rebounds into K's backfield. K47 recovers the kick at the K27 and advances to the K32. Okay, well, there's a lot to break down here, believe it or not. You see the answers that are possible. First question is, can K47 legally pick that ball up and recover it, or is it first touching? So 623 tells us that any K player may catch or recover a scrimmage kick while it is in or behind the neutral zone and advance unless it's during a try. So that makes K's actions legal. Now, he got to the 32. They had the line to gain was the 33. So does K turn it over on downs now? And that is covered in 513F. 513 says, when a scrimmage kick down ends and the ball with the ball in the field of play or out of bounds between the goal lines, a new series is awarded to F, the team in possession at the end of the down, if R is the first to touch a scrimmage kick while it is beyond the expanded neutral zone. Now the expanded neutral zone is 2 yards into the defensive field. Okay, so basically if he just touched it between the 30 and the 32, it wouldn't fall into this category. But he touched it at the 35. So unless a penalty is accepted for a non-post scrimmage kick foul, which occurred before the kick ended, unless 627 applies. And 627 simply says, when any scrimmage kick is out of bounds between the goal lines or becomes dead inbounds between the goal lines while no player is in possession, or inbounds anywhere while opponents are in joint possession, the ball is awarded to R. Following an out-of-bounds kick, the ball is put in play at the inbound spot unless R chooses first touching. So, had any of these situations arisen during this play, then it would still be R's ball, but they didn't. So we'll have K 1st and 10 at the K32. All right, question number 5. K 4th and 6 at the K17. So they're on their own 17-yard line. During a legal scrimmage kick, R59 runs into the kicker, K18, at the K6. The kick is caught by R32 at the K40 and run back to the R25. K accepts the penalty. Okay, so first thing, we're talking about running into the kicker, not roughing. Running into the kicker is a 5-yard penalty. Okay, so now the question is, where do we enforce this penalty from? And the first question is this a post-PSK foul, post-scrimmage kick foul? And so the basic spot is the spot where the kick ends when R commits a post-scrimmage kick foul. R fouls behind the post-scrimmage foul or spot. Forget that. Okay, so if it is a PSK foul, we would be enforcing from the R25, move R back 5 yards, and R would have the ball. But is it a post-scrimmage kick foul? So here's the definition. A foul by R, other than illegal substitution or illegal participation, a foul that occurs at the snap. When the foul occurs during scrimmage kick plays, other than a try or successful field goal, so it was during a scrimmage kick play, during a scrimmage kick play in which the ball crosses the expanded neutral zone, it did that. The foul is beyond the expanded neutral zone. Okay, so there it's not a PSK foul because the foul occurred behind the expanded neutral zone. Okay, so we do not have a PSK foul. The enforcement, so now what we have? A loose ball play, right? A kick and a pass, fumble, loose ball plays, all right? So the enforcement spot for a loose ball foul is, say it with me, the previous spot. Okay, so the previous spot was the K17. It was 4th and 6. They're going to move it up to the K22. They still have 4th down, but it'll be 4th and 1 at the K22. All right, question number 6. A, 3rd and 17 at the A10. To avoid an official, B57 goes out of bounds at the A15. Why would an official be on? We don't ever do that, guys. B57 returns inbounds at the A20 and tackles the runner at the A23. So the question is this legal or is it illegal participation? And if it is illegal participation, where do we enforce the foul? So 9-6 is a very long rule. It all deals with illegal participation. And you can see it starts off with a comment. And all these comments are germane to different types of illegal participation. You can see there's even a table down here. What constitutes illegal participation? Non-player entering during a down. Substitute enters during a down. Player enters the field, enters during down after being on field of play for previous down. Player who should be on field of play enters during down. Okay, so those are all illegal participations. The rule that he cites is 962. It says no player shall intentionally go out of bounds during the down, and if any of these are true, it's illegal participation. Return to the field, intentionally touch the ball, influence the player, or otherwise participate. Okay. Now, if he goes out of bounds because he's been contacted, that's a different story. That's not what this question is asking, but if he does get contacted, he has to return as soon as he can. So that's a judgment call on your part. And we don't drop our hat in high school. Most of the other levels do, but we do not. You can drop a beanbag. That'd be okay. Okay, so we've got the player intentionally going out of bounds during the down and returning to the field. So we have illegal participation, right? And the enforcement spot, this is a running play, right? So where's the enforcement spot on a running play? Let's all say it together, the end of the run. So we've got illegal participation, 15 yards, enforcement spot is the A23, which is the end of the run. So the correct answer is D. Question number 7. A 3rd and 20 at the B40. B99 rushes quarterback A11 and strikes him in the face just after A11 has released a pass to A81, who catches the ball at the B30. A81 fumbles the ball at the B24, where it is recovered by A84 at the B33. So, this is a roughing the passer question, obviously. 944 refers to the definition of roughing the passer. And I really, I want to emphasize this to all my referees, varsity and weight games. Defensive players must make a definite effort to avoid charging into a passer who has thrown the ball from in or behind the neutral zone. That means, I've talked about this before, they need to start letting up once they know the ball's away. They can't run through him. They can't, tackle him hard. Without, he's got to make some effort to let up. Okay. No defensive player shall commit any illegal personal foul listed in 943. Now, 943 is the entire list of 15-yard personal fouls, face masks, blindside block, all those. There's like 14 or 15 of them. So if any of those type of fouls are committed against the passer, it's roughing the passer. And the reason that they're making that distinction is because roughing the passer carries the additional penalty, I guess, of an automatic first down versus just a simple personal foul, which is 15 yards. So in this case, we've definitely got roughing the passer. Our enforcement spot is going to be the B33, because that is the I should show you the rule. I should show you the penalty table. Okay, right here. 15 yards and a first down from the dead ball spot when the dead ball spot is beyond the neutral zone, and A has possession of the ball at the end of the down, and there was no change of team possession, and the foul is not for an incidental face mask, a 5-yard face mask foul. Otherwise, it's 15 yards and a first down from the previous spot. So it's going to be where the ball ended up at the end of the down, which was the B33. We're going to tack on 15 yards, and it's going to be A's ball, 1st and 10 at the B18. All right, question number 8. I do not like this question. I don't even like the reasoning for the answer. At the coin toss, 3 minutes prior to the start of the game, 4 Team A members in game uniform and 1 Team A member on crutches, in jeans, and a team jersey, and on crutches, he said it twice, are present at the coin toss. Other Team A members in game uniform are between the 9-yard marks and the sideline. That means they're between the top of the numbers and the sideline. The rule states at the coin toss or simulated coin toss. I don't know what a simulated coin toss is. I guess that's odds or evens. Conducted 3 minutes prior to the scheduled starting time on the field on the field of play, as in 3-2-1. Not more than 4 team members in game uniform from each team may be present at the coin toss, and only 1 from each team shall be designated as a spokesman. All other team members in game uniform must remain outside the field of play. Now, to me, the big sin here is the other Team A members being between the 9-yard marks and the sideline. definitely not going to let that happen, right? But for whatever reason, the test maker focused on this poor schmuck that's on crutches, and basically, because he's wearing a jersey, he's in game uniform, and so the solution there is just give him a T-shirt or something. Don't if you're going to be nitpicky about this, which I don't recommend, have him just put a T-shirt on. But I would say let this one go. It's not a big deal. If 5 guys come out and they're all in full uniform, you got to send one off. But the guy on crutches, no, you're gonna get booed by the crowd like nobody's business. So it's definitely illegal for 2 reasons. But the one that I think is the bigger sin is that part I have highlighted, and he doesn't even mention this, the test maker. So anyway, the answer to question number 8 is B, illegal. All right, question number 9. K, kickoff from the K40. K33 attempts an onside kick, which rolls to the K48, where it is down by R77. So it's gone 8 yards. And the receiving team can do that. They can just fall on it, right? During the kick, K55 blocks R63 from the front and above the waist at the K46 before any R players have blocked in the neutral zone. If R accepts the penalty, so he's telling you that it's a foul, he just wants to know about the enforcement spot. Let's take a look at 937. It says, no member of the kicking team shall initiate contact to block an opponent on a free kick until the legal kick has traveled 10 yards, which it hadn't. The kicking team is eligible to recover a free kicked ball, which just means it's gone beyond 10 yards, I think, or ours touched it. And then C, the receiving team initiates a block within the neutral zone. So if R blocks first, K can block inside the neutral zone. But R has to block first, or the ball has to go 10 yards. Okay? Or R has to have touched it. So our choices are K with a kickoff from the K30, R with first and 10 at the K36, R with first and 10 at the K38, or A and C. Okay, so this is a blocking foul, right? That's a 10-yard foul. And so R has choices here. They can have K re-kick the ball, so it's from the previous spot, so they would be kicking from the K30, or they can tack on the 10 yards to from the spot where they recovered the ball, which was the K48, and it'll be R first and 10 at the K38. So the answer here is D. Both A and C are correct. Okay, question number 10. K 4th and 5 at the K10. K16's punt is caught at the K40 by R99 and run back to the K30. K had 5 players in the backfield at the snap, so they had an illegal formation. We have a foul on K. During the kick, R36 blocks K33 in the back at the K35. So obviously that's a illegal block in the back, right? So now R is fouled as well. So the answers are, if R accepts enforcement of K's foul, it's a double foul, replay the down. B, R can retain possession if R declines enforcement of K's foul. The enforcement spot for R's foul is the K40. So refers to the rules references 10.2.1c, and section 2 is double and multiple fouls. A double foul is a foul by each team, or the same number of fouls by each team. Multiple fouls are just that, multiple fouls committed by the same team. Okay. So 10.2.1c says, it is a double foul if both teams commit fouls other than non-player or unsportsmanlike during the same live ball period in which C. There is a change of possession. We have that. And the team in final possession accepts the penalty for its opponent's foul at any time during the down. Okay. So we have a change of possession. If R accepts the the foul, we're going to replay the down. 10.2.3 says, if each team fouls during a down in which there is a change of possession, that's what we have, and all the R fouls are post-scrimmage kick fouls, then R may retain the ball provided R declines the penalty for K's foul other than a non-player or sportsmanlike foul. I'm not going to read the rest of it. It'll confuse you, but this is the pertinent part to this question. So now the question is, are all R fouls post-scrimmage kick fouls? What is a post-scrimmage kick foul? Well, if you use my handy-dandy little rule book here, you can just click on that. It takes you right to the definition. A post-scrimmage kick foul is a foul by R, other than illegal substitution or illegal participation, that occurs at the snap. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a foul by R, other than illegal substitution or illegal participation foul that occurs at the snap, when the foul occurs during scrimmage kick plays, other than a try or successful field goal. Okay, so this isn't a try or field goal, it's a punt, right? During a scrimmage kick play in which the ball crosses the expanded neutral zone. Okay, so it has to cross. The ball has to cross the expanded neutral zone. And the foul has to occur beyond the expanded neutral zone, and it occurs before the end of a kick, which is basically while the ball is in the air, and that kick has crossed the expanded neutral zone, and the foul is beyond the expanded neutral zone. You have the potential for a post scrimmage kick. The last last contingency is K will not be the next to put the ball in play. Okay, so that means that maybe R fumbled and K recovered, but if K is not going to be the next to put the ball in play, then we have a post scrimmage kick foul if all these other criteria are satisfied, and they are. If you reread the question, the foul, this R foul occurs during the kick. During the kick, R36 blocks K33 in the back. Okay, so we know that if R accepts enforcement of the K's foul, it's a double foul. We replay the down. R can retain possession if R declines K's foul, which 10.2.3 told us. And now the question is enforcement spot. This enforcement spot is unique because it is at the end of the kick, and the kick ended at the K40 when R99 received it. So B is correct as well. So the correct answer is C, A or B. All right, question number 11. Following a legal kick, when either team is awarded a new series, the play clock is set to 25 seconds. And the rule reference is 3-6-1A 1F. The longest rules reference I've ever seen, I think. Okay, so this is 3-6-1, and then we got A, play clock, and then we have 25 seconds will be on the play clock and start on the ready for play signal. When following a legal kick, when either team is awarded a new series. So the answer is true. This is here because this is a recent rule change, and the test rider is just trying to enforce the fact that it is now 25 seconds instead of 40 seconds. All right, let's move on. All right, K, 4th and 5 at the K5. During K's legal scrimmage kick, during the kick, K69 holds R14 at the K10. The kick is caught by R22 at the K40 and returned to the K35 where he fumbles. R45 recovers the fumble at the K30. R may have the penalty enforced from the K30. So normally this is a loose ball play, right? This is basic spot is the previous spot. Okay. For a foul which occurs during a loose ball play. And look at that. It comes up with the definition even. Wow. Whoever did this is really good. So this is a loose ball play, and the basic spot will be the previous spot, and so they'll go back to the K5 and go half the distance to the goal, if that's the case. But the basic spot may, at the option of the offended team, which is R, be the succeeding spot for fouls by K during a free or scrimmage kick down, prior to the end of the kick, where K will not be the next to put the ball in play. R's got possession. K is not going to be the next to put the ball in play, and the foul did occur during the kick. So R qualifies for this exception, and they can enforce the foul from the K30 if they want to. So the answer is true. Okay, question 13. A first and goal at the B5. Eligible receiver A83 is running a pass route in the end zone. After A83 has gone past B90, so he's no longer a potential blocker, B90 pushes A83 to the ground. As A83 goes to the ground, A12 throws a legal forward pass from the B14 into the area A83 was running to. Then, at the line of scrimmage, B55 tips the pass and it falls incomplete in the end zone. So the rules references are 759C, so that's right here, but I want to talk about 758 first, because we're talking 759 talks about when pass interference restrictions end. We should also know when they begin, and they begin it for A with the snap. So as soon as the ball is snapped, A cannot commit any kind of interference that would keep B away from the ball. B, when the ball leaves the player's hand. So if we can't have pass interference while the quarterback is still holding on to it, right? All right, now pass interference restrictions end on a legal forward pass for all B players when the pass has been touched by any player. So, any player. So, we can't have defensive pass interference because of this tip. Okay, so the other rule reference here is 923D, which we can get to real quick by using my magic 923D says a defensive player shall not contact an eligible receiver who is no longer a potential blocker. And that's exactly what happened, right? Up here, A83 has gone past B90, so he's no longer a potential blocker. B90 pushes him. That's illegal use of hands. So even though it could have been DPI without the tip, with the tip, we're going to have illegal use of hands. So the answer is C. Okay, question number 14. This is a good one, guys. This does happen, and got to get it right. A, second and goal to B5. Okay? If A3 sweeps towards the right end, and at the B2, he dives and crosses the goal line airborne. You got the picture? He's in the air as he crosses the goal line. He continues to hold the ball as the ball crosses the goal line extended. And we'll talk about what the goal line extended is. And he lands out of bounds. What's the ruling? A touchdown or a third and goal where the ball broke the sideline plane prior to crossing the goal line extended? So, the goal line is the vertical plane. This is the definition right here. This is the definition of lines. And this Article 3 is the goal line is the vertical plane which separates the field of play from the end zone. Right? When related to a live ball in a runner's possession, touching inbounds, while the ball is over the out-of-bounds area, the goal line includes the extension beyond the sidelines. A team's own goal line is the one it is defending. I have no idea why that's there, but we'll let it go. Okay, so what happened on this play? So if the runner crosses the goal line inbounds, but has the ball extended out of bounds, then the goal line is extended to infinity. Okay, but he has to be in bounds. Okay, this guy's airborne, right? And so he's not in bounds in the goal area. He lands out of bounds. So it's not a touchdown. We have to determine where the ball broke the sideline, and that is where we're going to spot it. It'll be third down. So the answer to the question 14 is B. A, third and goal where the ball broke the sideline plane prior to crossing the goal line extended. Okay, question 15. Not a fan of this one, but okay. Quarterback A4 has 1 foot in the air beyond the plane of the neutral zone when he releases the ball on a forward pass. Is that legal or illegal? Rule reference is 751, and it says it is a legal forward pass if during a scrimmage down and before team possession is changed, a player of A throws the ball with both feet of the passer in or behind the neutral zone when the ball is released. Okay, only 1 forward pass may be thrown during the down. So this, and then it goes on to 752B. Oops, I'm right by it. An illegal forward pass is a foul. An illegal forward pass includes a pass from beyond the neutral zone. So the question really here is, his foot's in the air, it's beyond the neutral zone, does that count? Does that count as an illegal forward pass? And technically, it does. His foot cannot break that plane. Okay. Our philosophy for a long time has been that his foot should be down on the ground beyond the neutral zone for us to call this. I mean, are we really that good that we could tell his big toe is over the the invisible line of the neutral zone? So technically, this is an illegal forward pass. Philosophically, we would want the foot to be on the ground beyond the neutral zone before we made this call, because it's a big foul. So the answer is B, but let's make sure that we know for sure that he was beyond the neutral zone when he threw it. All right, let's move on. Okay, this one's a sticky one, so stay with me here. A3rd and 9, A8 in a shotgun formation. Quarterback A3 muffs the snap at the A2. So the muff is the muff of a backward pass. A snap is a backward pass. The ball is rolling on the ground at the A1 when B89 touches the ball in an attempt to recover it. The ball rolls into the end zone where A18 recovers it. The covering official rules the ball would not have gone into the end zone without B89's touch. I don't know why that's there. It's not germane to the question. I think he's trying to just screw with you. Anyway, that last sentence is what I'm talking about. So the rule references are numerous, and the first one is 2-2, and that simply says batting is intentionally slapping or striking the ball with the arm of the hand. And the question would be, is B89's touching batting? And the answer is no. It's not. It has to be intentional. Let me go down to 213, somewhere here. Okay. Then we get into force. And oh boy, is this a tough one to get your head around, because there's so many different ways force can be a factor or force is not a factor. So anyway, force is the result of energy exerted by a player which provides movement of the ball. The term force is used in connection with the goal line and only in one direction. That's important. It's only in the goal. It only relates to the goal line and only in one direction. Okay. So, i.e., from the field of play into the end zone, initial force results from a carry, fumble, kick, pass, or snap. That's what we have here. After a fumble, kick, or backward pass has been grounded, I didn't know why they don't include snap in there, a new force may result from a bat, an illegal kick, or a muff. Now, if you don't know the definition of a muff is the touching of a loose ball by a player in an unsuccessful attempt to secure possession. That's what we have here, is a muff. So that is a new force. 851A and B simply talk about what a safety is and a touchback. I think we can safely assume, since the ball crossed the goal line as a result of this new force, and A recovered it in the end zone, that it is a touchback. The answer is A. Question 17. A first and 10 at the B15. With 33 seconds in the game with the score A17 and B21, fullback A17 is at the B22 directly behind the center. A17 receives the snap and immediately spikes the ball. The result is. So this is the new rule regarding the ability of the passer to spike the ball from a shotgun position. And wait a minute. It says he's directly behind us. It doesn't say where he is. Well, regardless, if he's under center or directly behind the center, I suppose directly behind means he's some distance away from him. It doesn't matter. The new rule is the 752 exception. 752 defines illegal forward pass. And it used to be that you had to be under center. Whoever was receiving the snap was under center and would immediately spike the ball. The exception now says it's legal for a player positioned directly behind the snapper to conserve time by throwing the ball forward to the ground immediately after receiving the snap. That has been neither muffed nor touched the ground. So if it skips to him or he muffs it, he can't ground it. Okay? He tried to throw a little spin in there because it's fullback A17 instead of the quarterback. It doesn't matter. Okay? So the answer here, we're going to go, so it would be 2nd and 10 at the B15. The answer is C. Okay, question 18. A second 11 at the B35. A83 and B19 are side by side at the B30 when B19 grabs A83. A83 is able to pull away from B19 and runs to the B35, where quarterback A9 throws a legal forward pass towards A83. The pass is incomplete. And I'm going to go through the answers because you need to understand why each one of them is wrong except for one. So first choice is it DPI? And if it was DPI, we would have a 15-yard penalty, first and 10 at the B20, right? No automatic first downs on DPIs anymore. Holding, a second and 1 at the B25, so we're enforcing a 10-yard foul from the previous spot. C, holding on an eligible receiver during a legal forward pass play in which the pass crosses the neutral zone. A, first and 10 at the B25. So you see the difference between B and C is that A has a first down. At some levels of football, defensive holding is an automatic first down. And lastly, no foul, A, third and 11. So they just basically go back to the previous spot and their third down. Well, there is no automatic first down for holding, first of all, so C can't be right. The ball wasn't in the air when the hold occurred, so we can't have DPI. So we either have holding or no foul. This is definitely a hold. The answer is B. Okay, this one's got a little tricky nuance to it. A, third and 3 at the A14. From the A7, A12 throws a legal forward pass. It's caught by A89 at the A16 and is immediately tackled. As A12 was throwing the ball, B47 grabs and immediately releases A12's face mask. And the rule references are 944, 943, and 232.11. So, 944 defines roughing the passer. And I'm not going to read it. There's a whole bunch of ways you can rough the passer. The last part says, no defensive player shall commit illegal personal contact, listed in 943, which is all the restrictions about what a player shall not do. These are all the personal fouls. Okay? Or at least, yeah. So if we go to 943, we're going to find 943H, grasp an opponent's face mask, any edge of the helmet opening. You new guys remember that. It doesn't have to be the face mask. It could be the edge of the helmet opening, chin strap, or even the tooth and mouth protector attached to the face mask. And twist, turn, or pull the face mask. Helmet openings, chin strap, blah, 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 blah. So, in other words, the grasping of the face mask is one component of the foul. But there has to be a twist, turn, or pull in order for it to be a 15-yard personal foul. So this is not that. That's not what we have here. We have a 5-yard face mask foul. Okay. So if we go to Article 11, I don't know why he threw this in here. This is 232.11. A passer is a player who throws a legal forward pass. He continues to be a passer until the legal forward pass ends or until he moves to participate in the play. And I think he's throwing that in there because he wants to emphasize that the ball has to be thrown for the player to be considered a passer. If he's going to pass but never throws the ball, he can't be you can't call roughing the passer. Okay, I think that's what he's doing here. Anyway, back to the question. So you'd think that they would decline it, but this is only a 2-yard gain. If you notice, A14 to the A16. So they're going to take the penalty, right? They're going to move to the 19. It'll be A first and 10, 5-yard face mask foul. All right, question number 20. K 4th and 5 at the K5. During K's legal scrimmage kick, K69 holds R14 at the K30. The kick is caught by R22 at the K40 and returned for a touchdown. Team R may have the penalty enforced on the try or kickoff. True or false? All right, so the rules references here are 6-2, which just defines a scrimmage kick. I don't know why that's germane to this, but he's included it. 823 says, if an opponent of a scoring team commits a foul other than in sportsmanlike conduct or non-player foul during a down in which a touchdown is scored and there was a change of possession. So far, so good. We have a change of possession because of the kick, right? And such foul occurs after the change of possession, the scoring team may accept the results of the play and choose enforcement of the penalty on the try or on the subsequent kickoff. So we don't satisfy everything in 823. Okay? The rule says that if the foul occurs before the kick ends or before the change of possession, then the foul is enforced from the succeeding spot. The succeeding spot is where the ball would be next snapped or free kicked if a foul had not occurred. So, and then it goes on to say if the foul occurred during a down in which a touchdown is scored, as in 822, 823, 824, and 825, the succeeding spot may, at the option of the offended team, be the subsequent kickoff. Well, this play does not satisfy 822, 23, 24, or 25. So we've simply got the succeeding spot. And the test maker claims that the succeeding spot is the goal line, which is not true. Where is the succeeding spot after a touchdown? It's the the 3-yard line, right? That's where we're going to get the try. Execute the try from. So I'm not sure why he said that, but regardless, he got the answer right, but just for the wrong reason. Okay, so Team R may have the penalty enforced on the try, but not the kickoff. So this is false. Okay, question 21. K, 4th and 17 from the B45. Clearly after the kick is away, R15 forcibly charges into kicker K15, causing the kicker to be knocked down. Is that no foul? Is it running into the kicker? Is it roughing the kicker? Or is it roughing the kicker with an automatic first down? So we were looking at 945, which defines running into or roughing the kicker or holder. It says a defensive player shall neither run into the kicker nor holder, which is contact that displaces the kicker or holder, without roughing, nor block, tackle, or charge into the kicker of a scrimmage kick or the place kick holder, other than contact is unavoidable, the defense touches the kick near the kicker, contact is slight and partially caused by movement of the kicker, contact is caused by R being blocked into the kicker. So we definitely have a foul here. We have to determine whether it's running into or roughing. That's oftentimes a little challenging for a referee, but I think the fact that he's knocked down and forcibly charged into the kicker, we're going to have to go with roughing. So we have two roughing choices here. Roughing with a 15-yard penalty would give him 4th and 2 at the B30. But roughing the kicker is one of the 4 fouls that carries an automatic first down. What are the other 3? Roughing the passer, roughing the snapper, and roughing the kicker, roughing the holder. Okay, those 4. If the word roughing is in the foul, then you've got an automatic first down. So the answer here is D, roughing the kicker, 1st and 10 at the B30. Question number 22. A, 3rd and goal from the B9. Score A20, B27. So A's got the ball, they got to score to tie the game or win with a 2-point conversion. With 9 seconds remaining in regulation, Team A scores a touchdown as time expires. During the down, B63 swears at the umpire. And our choices are: the penalty may be enforced on the first play of overtime, if overtime is played, or the penalty must be enforced on the try. So if we just looked at 8-2-2. We know that's the when the team scores after change of possession. 8-2-3 is a team scores without a change of possession, and 8-2-4 is when the team commits an unsportsmanlike conduct foul on a play in which the touchdown is scored. And it says the opponent may accept the results of the play and choose enforcement of the penalty on the try or the subsequent kickoff. Now, this is a trick question because under any other circumstances, other than this play being happening at the very end of the game, the answer would be A. Okay, or I'm sorry, it would be the subsequent kickoff or a try. But because there's no kickoff in overtime, we can't carry it over. So the penalty must be enforced on the try. Answer is B. Okay, question 23. Legal blocking below the waist requires the block to begin immediately after the snap. And the rule references 217.2c and 217-4. And you can see Article 2 here says, blocking below the waist is permitted in the free blocking zone when the following conditions are met. All players involved in the block are on the line of scrimmage and in the zone of the snap. The contact is in the zone. The block is an immediate initial action following the step. And that's the new rule change. Okay? So, legal blocking below the waist requires, one of the requirements is that immediately after the snap. Okay? So the answer to A is true. I'm sorry, the answer to 23 is A, true. I want to talk a little bit more about question 23 because we've been drilling it into your heads for several years now that for a block below the waist in anything but the quarterback being under center had to be immediate, it had to be heads up, and it had to be from a 3 or 4 point stance. Only one of those things is true now. It has to be immediate, but that's every block below the waist, no matter what configuration they're running. If it's a shotgun, pistol, quarterback under center, any block below the waist in the free blocking zone has to be immediate. There can't be two steps. There can't be a delay. He can't come up and then go down. All right? I know I've been hammering this. 2-17-4 just refers to what the free blocking zone, when it disintegrates. So free blocking zone disintegrates, and the exceptions for a player to block below the waist and or exceptions for an offensive lineman to block in the back does not continue after the ball has left the zone. Well, for us, it's a little more cut and dry. We require that it happens immediately, whether the ball's left the zone or not. Okay? So just want to make that very clear. Those things that we've been harping on for the last 3 or 4 years, 2 out of 3 no longer apply. They don't have to be heads up, and they don't have to be in a 3 4 point stance. They can be in a 2 point stance. All right, let's move on. Okay, I feel like we already covered a question like this, but let's go over it again. K 4th and 10 at the K5. K5 had 5 players in the backfield. Remember, that was an illegal formation. It's exactly the same question, I think. K's punt is caught at the K50 by R83 and run back to the K20. During the run back, R87 illegally holds K62 at the K30. So we have a foul by K, illegal formation, foul by R, illegal holding, And rule reference is 10.21c. It is a double foul if both teams commit fouls other than non-player unsportsmanlike during the same live ball period in which there is a change of possession and the team in final possession accepts the penalty for its opponent's foul at any time during the down. If we go down to 10.22, if each team fouls during the down in which there is a change of team possession and the play does not have a post-scrimmage kick foul, the team last gaining possession may retain the ball provided the team last gaining possession declines the penalty for its opponent's fouls. That's all we gotta know. So we have R is going to have a choice here. They can decline K's foul and take their own and get the ball. So, or they can replay the down. So if R accepts the penalty, it's a double foul, replay the down. That is true. R can retain possession if it declines the penalty for K's foul. Its enforcement spot is the K50. No. Okay, the enforcement spot is where the end runs. Okay? So, R can retain possession if R declines the penalty for K's foul. Enforcement spot is the K30. He throws this one in here because that's what the enforcement spot would be if it were a PSK foul, but this is not a PSK foul. R fouled after the catch was made, and in order for it to be PSK, R has to foul while the ball's in the air. So the answer is E, A, and C. They can retain possession, and they're going to enforce it from the K30, or they can say let's kick it again. All right, let's move on. Question 25. B12 enters the field to substitute for B15. B15 attempts to leave the field, but has not gotten across his sideline when A snaps the ball. The line judge throws a flag. What's he throwing a flag for? Is it illegal participation or illegal substitution? It's illegal substitution. The play results in a touchdown for A. After the line judge reports the foul to R, the R immediately signals the penalty is declined and then signals a touchdown. Okay, was that correct or incorrect? And back to our old friend 822, we've seen this one many times. If an opponent of the scoring team commits a foul during a down in which a touchdown is scored and there was not a change of possession during the play, A may accept the results of the play, which is the touchdown, and enforcement of the penalty on the try or the subsequent kickoff. So this, I believe, would be correct in college, but not in high school. So I think that's why this is here. So all you college refs, remember the difference. Penalty can be enforced on the try or the kickoff. So this is incorrect. That's question 25, B. All right, this is the third time I've tried to get this right. This isn't that hard of a question. Between downs, an official sees player A9 is not wearing hip pads. The possible answers are the official calls an official's timeout and the offending player is required to leave the game for at least one down and cannot return until he's legally equipped. Second answer, 15-yard unsportsmanlike foul charged to the head coach. If during the pregame conference the head coach has verified all his players are legally equipped. The player must leave the field until he is legally equipped. Or C, a 5-yard non-contact foul charged to the player. And the rules references are 151D. Now 151, especially for you new guys, very important to read this several times. You've got to know what equipment is legal and mandatory. Okay, and it's quite a long list. It starts right here, and it starts with helmet and face mask, Gives you all the things that the requirements for those two things. For instance, the helmet shall be secured by properly fastened chin strap with at least 4 attachment points. Not 2, 4. Okay? Then we get into jerseys. A lot of rules about jerseys. Numbering. Numbers, the actual numbers. Knee pads, shoulder pads, thigh guards. Okay? Now, we don't want to get too nitpicky on this, but it is important to enforce this rule consistently. How's that? So 151D is simply the requirement to wear hip pads right there. Okay? That's all it is. 153 is another one that you need to get to know. That's illegal equipment. And this we don't put up with, okay? There's no where is it? Here it is. Illegal equipment. So, these are all the things that just can't happen. Slippery or sticky substance of foreign nature on equipment. Tearaway jerseys. Uniform adornments. We got to be careful with this one. We don't want to get too nitpicky, but you want to get that taken care of in the pregame. Okay? And if they come running on the field with bracelets or towels that are not solid colors, send them back off. Just get them out of there. All right? Because the penalty for illegal equipment is 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct foul charged to the head coach. That's number B there. Okay? And we used to call a 5-yard non-contact foul for legal equipment not properly worn. But we changed that rule 3 or 4 years ago, and now we just send them off the field and make them fix their equipment. And they have to stay off for one play. And we need to be consistent on this ruling. We do not look the other way because it's modern-day Servite or Bishop Amat and Bosco or something, big game television. We enforce this rule. Okay? It doesn't matter if it's on the kickoff or if it's the last play of the game and they need a touchdown. All right? Get them off the field if they're not properly equipped. And that means knees showing, back pads showing, adornments. Get them off the field. All right? If I made myself perfectly clear, let's move on. Okay, we're getting there. We're almost done. A, 4th and 2 at the B40. A3 runs to the B30. As he's being tackled, he hands the ball forward and underhanded to A43, who runs to the B5 and is tackled there. After enforcement of the penalty, it will be. Now, the first thing we have to know is what's he talking about? Penalty, right? So he references 219.2, and 219 is handing. Article 2 is, get rid of my little, come on. Forward handling occurs when the runner releases the ball when the entire ball is beyond the yard line where the runner is positioned. That's kind of a vague description. What they're saying is you can hand the ball forward behind the line of scrimmage. It happens all the time. But beyond the line of scrimmage, it's a foul. So we go to 732. It says, no player may hand the ball forward except during a scrimmage down before a change of possession provided both players are in or behind the neutral zone. And it is to, and then I'm not even going to get into this, but so if it's not, if the forward handling isn't behind the line of scrimmage, it's not legal. And the penalty is illegal handing, and it is a 5-yard penalty, and it also is a loss of down. So there's 4 loss of down penalties left, and there's 4 automatic first down penalties left. The automatic first downs are all the roughing ones. We talked about that before. The loss of downs penalties are illegal handing, illegal forward pass. That's generally a pass that's thrown beyond the line of scrimmage. When the passer is beyond the line of scrimmage. We talked about that earlier. Intentional grounding and illegal touching. And illegal touching is when an ineligible receiver touches the ball. All right? So back to our question. All right, so what kind of play do we have here? We have a running play. And the B40 runs to the B30. As he's being tackled, he hands the ball to the A43, who runs to the B5. So this is a running play. Normally we would enforce from the end of the run, which would be the B5. But we have the all but one principle, which says if the offense fouls behind the basic spot, and the basic spot in this case is the end of the run, then the penalty is enforced from the spot of the foul, which would be the B30. So and it's also a loss of down. But that loss of down does not immediately give the other team the ball. It simply means that they cannot replay the down. In this case, even with the enforcement of the penalty, they've got to the B35 and they've got a first down. So the correct answer is C, A, 1st and 10 from the B35. Question 28. A, 3rd and 7 at the A33. Quarterback A9 drops back to pass. Guard A67 advances to the A35 without contacting a Team B lineman. A9 pass is complete to A89 at the A41. And the answer choices are A67, foul ineligible player downfield, and B, illegal play. So the rule reference is 7.5.12, and it says ineligible A players may not advance beyond the expanded neutral zone, which I've got to, okay. The neutral zone may be expanded following the snap up to a maximum of 2 yards behind the defensive line of scrimmage in the field of play during any scrimmage down. So guard A67 has not gone past the expanded neutral zone. He's right on the edge of it, but he hasn't gone past it. The reason this question is here is because there was an interpretation a few years back that if offensive lineman was not in contact with a defensive player, he couldn't go beyond the line of scrimmage, or he'd be an ineligible player downfield. They clarified that, and they're now saying that is a legal play. Question 29. A12 is calling signals. Directly across from A12, B76 mimics A12 signals. And the rules reference is 719 and 719 penalty. And the choices for the answer are a dead ball, disconcerting act foul, or a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct foul. So this rule changed this year. This used to be an unsportsmanlike conduct foul at 15 yards. But now the rule says no defensive player should use a disconcerting act or words prior to the snap, an attempt to interfere with A signals or movements, and the I don't even have the rules reference down. Well, it's 5 yards. Take my word for it, and I'll fix the rule book. Okay, I really hate this question, and I'd like some opinion on this after we discuss it. Offensive lineman A66 contacts defensive player B53 at the line of scrimmage, and with continuous contact, A66 drives B53 back 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage at the left hash. When quarterback A11 throws a legal forward pass to eligible receiver A32 beyond the line of scrimmage near the right sideline. And the rule reference is 7512, which is our ineligible receiver rule, and we know he can't go past the expanded neutral zone even if he's in contact. So he is ineligibly downfield. And then 7510 says it is forward pass interference if any player of A or B who is beyond the neutral zone interferes with an eligible opponent's opportunity to move, catch, or bat the pass. Now, the test maker thinks it is both offensive pass interference and ineligible player downfield. I don't know how he gets that. If the ball was thrown to the left side of the field and this ineligible downfield occurred on the right sideline, how can we have pass interference? So by the test, the answers B and C. My opinion, it is only an eligible player downfield, and I consider maybe not throwing that since it didn't have any effect. But that's up to you. All right, let's move on.